Hi, I'm Martin Sharp, award-winning speaker, author and coach. And today, what I'd like to talk to you about is what are you doing with your strategy? Strategy. Now, what is it really? You spend all this time, it's like thinking, working out what you're going to do, how you're going to take your business forwards, how are you going to make your plans work, and what do you do with it next? Now, I found some of my clients, the first thing they do is they ignore the strategy. They kind of spend all this time, all this money, all this effort, and then kind of as soon as it gets into the actual execution of making the strategy work, the first thing they do is actually ignore their own strategy. And this seems crazy to me, because surely if you spent a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort in doing something, you really want to be able to capitalize off that to make something work even better. Now, you can say, and I completely agree with this, that a strategy should be a living document. As your business evolves, as you find out more information, as your execution actually starts to develop further and you learn more, your strategy should change with you, to the point where it actually becomes something that's representative of what you're doing and how you're going to move your business forwards. But it kind of gets me thinking, how do I take my strategy and make something better out of it? Well, for me, I believe in taking a very structured approach to this. So once you've got your strategy defined, it should really be the thing that helps you develop some of your key principles. Some of those things that help build those constraints, that help provide more imagination to how you can produce things. Because the reality is, as you're going through and you're creating things, if you had an endless number of opportunities and an endless number of ideas, you'll just become overwhelmed. I mean, let's face it, have you ever been to a supermarket these days and tried to buy jam? Just how many different jars of jam are there? I mean, you just want to buy a jar of jam, but you've got like strawberry jam, blackberry jam, apple jam, apricot jam, jam with bits, jam without bits. There's just so much choice that in many cases you may come away thinking, I don't really want jam. So by building a set of principles that you're going to base off the back of your strategy, you're able to help then give other people help and guidance because they know what's really important to you, what kind of jam you really do like. And that way it'll help you to be able to make sure more things happen without doing all the work yourself. So once we kind of got these base principles built, what do we then develop off the back of that? We already talked about it'll help inform some of the constraints, but what it also does is it helps us be able to develop policies, it helps us develop some standards, and with these it helps give guidelines to those people around you so that when they're looking to try and do something, they know what it is that they're going to do it against. And it's pointless, for instance, if you're looking at a business where you've got branding, you will create a standard for your branding, probably some kind of brand colours of some kind. And if all of a sudden everyone uses different colours rather than your brand colours, don't you think that'll be giving a different message out and probably not the right message that you were intending? Whereas if you actually had the whole of your team using your brand colours, then the keeping on message, that'll mean that you're providing a unified front to your clients. And this is really where those principles informing your policies and your standards can really help by being able to drive out the same kind of things, not just in branding, but in all areas of your business. Now, okay, so we've got the policies, we've got the standards, we've got our principles, we've got our strategy kind of defined. What kind of happens next? So the next thing we need to start looking at is actually how to develop the procedures that go around this. So we've got our business structure, we've got all our departments and things. Now we've got the kind of work that we're going to be doing around that. And that kind of is the procedures and the processes, the kind of individual components and tasks that everyone does to be able to complete the jobs that they need to be doing. And these exist whether you document them or not. Just because something hasn't been written on paper or written in a computer doesn't mean that it hasn't actually been thought about and people aren't actually already following it. And I'm pretty sure you'll recognise that in your business, in the fact that there's a lot of things that you probably don't get involved with that aren't written down, but yet still get completed on a day-to-day basis, yes or no? And these procedures really should come out of the back of all those standards and those policies to make sure you've got the right things being put in the right place. Now, after we've got the procedures in place, things to make it even easier is really starting to look at things like tooling and training. So people are doing the same procedures in the same way because they all hold the same amount of knowledge. And this to me is quite, it just makes common sense. But how many organisations do you come across where training is probably the afterthought, the last thing that comes in? And in most cases, it's the first thing that's taken out as soon as budgets become tight. Yet, wouldn't you also agree, if people know what they're doing and clearly know what they're doing, then they should be able to do it quicker, easier, and to the right standard? And if this is the case, then training should be really built into the heart and soul of everything that you do, driven by your strategy all the way through each of the different stratas, down to the point where people are executing. And this goes for the tools as well. There's so many people I know go straight for technology. It's like technology is going to save the world. Technology is just a tool, it's a hammer, and a hammer is great at hammering nails, not necessarily good for fitting glass window panes. So you've really got to be able to look at this and say, okay, which tools do I actually need to use, how am I going to be using these tools, and how they're going to really work for my business. And this kind of approach is really the capability development approach, being able to look at how you can exercise your strategy to actually create a result. So are you going to go away and exercise your strategy and get results? Or are you going to be one of those people who just writes the strategy, pays the money, and ignores it, and wonders why you're not getting results? Hi, I'm Martin Sharp. Have a great week ahead. If you enjoyed this video, then please click the subscribe button for more hints, tips, sound bites and extras in order to be able to help you influence change, build consensus and achieve a greater success in your life, in your career and in your organisation. So click that subscribe button now.